Around 500 dead, 3 ships sunk and the Sultan's palace destroyed. All in just 38 minutes. The Anglo-Zanzibar War became one of the bloodiest and shortest wars in history. But how did it all begin? After 3 years of rule, on the 25th of August 1893, Sultan Hamid bin Tuwaini of Zanzibar suddenly died. His younger cousin, Khalid bin Barghash, quickly seized power. The British, however, had good relations with the late Sultan and were in the process of abolishing the slave trade in Zanzibar. Khalid, who wanted to maintain the trade, was rumored to have poisoned the former Sultan to protect him. The British then immediately demanded that Khalid leave the palace and surrender. He ignored them and began fortifying the palace instead. By the end of the same day, Khalid had reinforced it with 3,000 men, several artillery guns, and an armed royal yacht in the nearby harbour. At the time, the British already had 2 ships, the HMS Philomel and the HMS Rush, stationed in the harbour. The troops were sent immediately to protect the British consulate. However, the British diplomats did not have the authority to engage the Sultan unless officially approved by the government. The next day, 2 more ships arrived, including one carrying Rear Admiral Harry Rawson, commander of the British fleet in the region. Around the same time, diplomat Basil Cave received a telegraph stating, "You are authorized to adopt whatever measures you may consider necessary, and you will be supported in your action by Her Majesty's government. Do not, however, attempt to take any action which you are not certain of being able to accomplish successfully." On the 26th of August, Khalid was given a final ultimatum. He had to surrender and leave the palace by 9 AM the next day. The following morning, at 8:30 AM on the 27th of August, Khalid sent a message to the British diplomats. "We do not believe you will open fire on us," to which Cave replied, "Unless you do as you are told, we shall certainly do so." At 9 sharp, Cave gave the orders to prepare, and 2 minutes later the British opened fire. One of the first losses was the HHS Glasgow, the Sultan's yacht. The crew survived unharmed, but the soldiers guarding the palace were not so lucky. The first British salvo completely destroyed Zanzibar's artillery division, leaving the palace defenders powerless. By 9:02, the palace began to collapse. At the same time, Khalid escaped through the back door, leaving his servants to fight alone. He then fled aboard a German warship, the Seeadler, who then took him to the German consulate, after which he received permission to settle in Dar es Salaam, which was then part of German East Africa. At 9:40, the British shot down the palace wall, which they saw as victory, and ceased fire. With little resistance left, they installed a pro-British ruler, Hamid bin Mohammed, who then gave them a few medals and called it a day. The casualties that day counted 1 injured soldier on the British side and 500 dead or wounded and 3 ships sunk on the Zanzibar side. Even after receiving asylum, Khalid remained a target. The British repeatedly demanded his extradition, which Germany ignored. It wasn't until 1916, during the First World War, that the British captured Khalid, who was then sent to St. Helena for exile. After serving his time, he was allowed to return to the east of Africa, where he lived until his death in 1927. I would like to thank you for watching this video. I've put quite a lot of time and effort in it, and I'm quite proud of what I have produced. If you'd like to support me, please leave a comment and subscribe so this video reaches more people, and I'll see you next time.